It's fascinating when you get into the garden at Treby and you realise just what the shelter belt does for the garden, how it protects the garden. Although we've lost obviously quite a few trees on the sort of westerly perimeter of the garden, when you look into the middle you would think that the wind had hardly blown. And that's the key for Treby, is that sort of protection we get. So anytime you hear us talk about sort of shelter belt, you really do see the benefits of that protection. So this is really where you can see the benefit of obviously a shelter belt. Obviously it looks pretty decimated as it is in this state, but it's there to serve a purpose, and it's to protect the main valley, which it did brilliantly. Sadly, obviously we've lost some great and fantastic mature trees, but I've always been one of those people that looks at these as an opportunity to replant and do things slightly differently. We may choose trees that perhaps don't get so tall and are likely to fall quite in this way. So a lot of it is about re-evaluating conditions, and obviously climate change as well adds to that. Obviously there are a lot of trees down the westerly sort of boundary, mostly along Petrie's Path. So once you get further down, less of a problem. This is the worst hit, so elsewhere we've cleared a few trees that have fallen and we'll make those safe, and then people can come back and hopefully enjoy the garden and make their way down to the beach. So I'm just standing below Radiata Path, which was less affected by the winds. There's a big lime at the far end which has gone down, which we've cleared. But I just wanted to stop at this old example of a tree that actually came down in the storms of 1990. That was the big one for Treby, the last big storm we had. We lost over 40 trees in the garden. I started in 91, so the year after, helping to clear a lot of that storm damage that was still in evidence and in place. And this one stem dates back to that. So it's actually interesting just to see how this stem is supporting other forms of life. And I think we often forget that where you can leave some of this old rotten wood, you get all these sort of micro-organisms and other sort of beetles and things sort of living in that. So I think we need to not lose sight of the fact that this is the sort of evolution of trees. Trees get to a mature age and sadly then they are lost, but they also support lots of other life. And quite often what you also get as a benefit of that is more light and space, and then saplings and seedlings then germinate. So it's always happened. We just see the extremes of it obviously that we've had. We've also done a lot of replanting over the years at Treby, and some of the spots where we've lost quite a lot of trees, especially on the westerly boundary, will obviously give us planting opportunities. So you've always got to look at the positives. So we've been very fortunate. We've actually been gifted some of the rare conifers collected as part of the Conifer Conservation Project, and it's run through Edinburgh Botanical Gardens. And they've shared some of these wonderful rare specimens with many of the Cornish gardens, and Treby has been the beneficiary of around about 25 of those. So we'll be finding some new spots, obviously, and some old spots in the garden to introduce those and keep that preservation process going forward.